Have you ever wondered how fireflies produce light and why they do it? Let me take you to the magical world of fireflies. Do you know what fireflies really are? Some people think they are flies or even fairies, but they are not. They are actually beetles. Like other beetles, fireflies have 2 pairs of wings, 6 legs, and 2 antennae. Their bodies are split into 3 parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. But unlike other beetles, the firefly's abdomen can light up. This is called bioluminescence, light produced by living organisms. And they have been doing this since 100 million years ago, long before humans existed. So how do fireflies produce light? Fireflies have special genes that produce 2 very special chemicals, luciferin, a light-producing substance, and luciferase, an enzyme that catalyzes the reaction. Fireflies also produce adenosine triphosphate, also known as ATP, which is a chemical that stores energy. When ATP, oxygen, luciferin, and luciferase combine, a chemical reaction happens. And voila! You get light. The light from fireflies is amazing. It is the most efficient one we know. 100% of the chemical energy is converted into light. No energy is wasted as heat. Bioluminescence is also being used in medical research. By putting firefly genes into cancer cells, scientists can now make those cancer cells glow. So why do fireflies produce light? For a long time, nobody knew. Now, scientists have found that they use light to communicate with one another. So what do the fireflies like to talk about? Well, the male fireflies use the light to ask the females whether they want to go on a date. The light also serves as a warning to predators. Lizards and birds like to eat beetles, but the fireflies contain toxins that not only taste bad, but can also make the predators sick. The light tells predators not to eat fireflies. Hopefully they'll see the light. Fireflies live in colonies. Here in Malaysia, they congregate in mangrove swamps where they can find snails, their favorite food. But people living nearby tell me there are fewer and fewer fireflies every year. Why is this happening? I did some research and found out that many firefly colonies are being affected by habitat destruction, lights, and pesticides. To find out more, I spoke with 2 firefly experts.
You know, fireflies have a life cycle.
Yeah.
They go through many stages.
Yeah.
And so they go from egg to larva to pupa to adult. And the adult, the only purpose of the adult stage is to find a mate and then to start the next generation. So after maybe 2 weeks or maybe 4 weeks, the adults die. After they reproduce, there's no purpose in their life.
How do fireflies synchronize?
These are great questions. You thought these all yourself?
Yes.
Wow, you must be thinking a lot about fireflies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we have some idea about how they synchronize. Maybe if you've seen them, at the beginning of the night, they're not quite synchronizing. They're a little off. And then each one has a certain rhythm.
Yeah.
And this guy has the same rhythm, but they're not in sync yet. So they look at the other fireflies around them, and this one can say, uh-oh, I'm a little too fast, so I'll slow down a little bit. And then slowly, over maybe several minutes, maybe 1 hour, the whole tree gets to synchronize together. By looking, they have their eyes open, they're looking around at their neighbors, like I see you, they see the neighbor flashing, they can change their timing so that they're flashing in the same rhythm.
What do male nuptial gifts give?
Oh, you know about male nuptial gifts?
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
Yeah,
Wow, you know more than anybody.
I read your Firefly book.
Ah, so you have inside information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So the nuptial gift is a really interesting thing. We discovered, my students and I working together, we discovered this a few years ago. Before that, nobody knew anything about.
Wow.
They knew the flashing back and forth, they knew the synchronizing, everything about flashing. But what happens after they stop flashing and the male and female come together? Nobody had any idea. So we did some studies where we found the male and female were mating, and very carefully we looked inside and we saw, wow, what is this? It's this crazy looking thing. And inside that nuptial gift, the males are giving the female a lot of different things. We don't really know everything, but we know that there's a lot of different proteins that the female can use to make more eggs. So you can put a special molecule in the male. You can feed it to the male. So it's like a marker, and it travels into the male's body, and it travels into the nuptial gift. And then the male gives the nuptial gift to the female. You can find that same molecule in the female.
Wow.
And you can find it in her eggs after she lays them. And so we know it comes from the male, it goes to the female, and she puts some things into her eggs.
Like we give flowers and chocolate.
Exactly, it's just like chocolate and flowers. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
What time is predicted for fireflies to go extinct?
I hope maybe never.
Good.
So we don't really know. You know, you already know there's a lot of different species of fireflies, right? Some of them are very common. They're in many, many places. They can live anywhere, you know, in people's yards or anywhere. Some other ones, they need very specific habitat, like the mangrove fireflies, right? We don't know when fireflies will go extinct because we don't know how successful we will be at preserving firefly habitats. If we can pay attention to the fireflies, we already know what their requirements, what they need. We know. If we can keep what they need in the natural world, in nature, keep it safe for fireflies, we think maybe they will never go extinct. I hope so.
Okay.
Okay.
What can we do to help?
So, one thing that everybody can do to help is to pay attention to fireflies. It's so beautiful. It brings joy to our hearts. It's an important insect for us, for economic insect, right? And maybe we can work together to protect their habitats. We can help fireflies by saving their homes. They have a home in nature. We can save that home for them. We should keep their habitat, the mangrove forest. We should keep it for fireflies and other creatures that live there instead of cutting it down. Shrimp farm or oil palm plantation, or maybe, a new city on the river, so beautiful. But fireflies used to live there. It's their home too.
Yeah.
So we need to pay attention to not just people, but also to the rest of the natural world. That's how we can help fireflies and everything else that lives in the world with us.
Okay, that's all the questions.
That's great questions. Wow.
Thank
you
you
so much.
What are the most common fireflies here?
Oh, I would say the mangrove fireflies because they are in huge population and they can found in all the mangrove rivers in Malaysia. They're very common. So as long as there are food around and the river banks are safe from cutting trees and no felling of trees, so that the fireflies can survive. There's a lot of fireflies in Malaysia. Yeah. In Malaysia, we have already nearly 100 species.
Wow.
Fireflies research is very new here. Yeah. Yeah, so we have very few researchers. So we do not know which firefly will extinct, but surely there will be some that they go extinct without even us knowing. Yeah.
Fireflies are disappearing in many places, but there are a few things we can do to help. 1. Don't catch fireflies. They have very short lives. Let them live free. 2. If you have a garden, use natural fertilizers. The chemical ones harms fireflies. 3. Don't use pesticides unless you absolutely need to. 4. If your country has fireflies, write to your elected state representatives. Ask them to help preserve the firefly colonies in your country. 5. Join a local volunteer conservation group. Every year in July, countries that have fireflies celebrate the World Firefly Day. Lastly, get your family and friends outside. Appreciate the power and beauty of nature. The more you love nature, the more you will want to preserve it. Okay, that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation, and I hope you have learned something new. I certainly have. Good night, lights out.